Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast Secret Location Edition. We're back, baby. And we got all of your complaints about how we switched position from what you're used to. And let me just say, folks, you have a parasocial relationship with this podcast, and where we sit is none of your fucking business.
But we did change it, so I guess it is their business.
In what way?
The producer said, Natasha, you sit here today instead.
I know. She was being a real I don't like to say this kind of stuff, but B word about it.
Really?
Yeah, she was like, you sit here. And then remember, you were like, I'm an independent woman. I can make my own decision. And she said, I'm your fucking producer. I decide. And then she put her two fingers in your chest and kind of sat you down like a little boy. It was kind of aggressive. Anyway, she's been fired. But Natasha.
Yes, how you doing, Moshe?
I'm just great.
I see you're getting ready for Burning Man.
I'm getting ready for Burning Man. I just got back from Portland. It was a wonderful weekend of shows. What a great town.
Moshe.
Yes.
So as I see you getting ready for Burning Man,
yes.
I remember something you asked me when we first got together.
Okay.
You were like, hey, what if we get married?
Okay.
But once a year at Burning Man, I can do whatever I want.
Oh, I do remember that very well. Have we told that story before? I think we have told that story before.
I know, but I have an addition onto it.
Oh, you've got an update.
I've got an update
Okay.
that I was waiting for the podcast to tell you.
Okay. Have we told this story before?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
It's not a story.
You said no.
I said no.
You said, if I recall correctly, sex might be casual for you, and you can hook up with people you don't have any feelings for whatsoever, but that's not how it works for me. So I would have two choices. Either I sit at home not hooking up with people while you're gallivanting at Burning Man, or I go into the world and pursue a romantic connection with somebody, neither of which are good elements for a marriage. And I respected that.
Okay, well, that sounds like
That was what you said.
a good answer that I said. But I was going to say, you gave everyone your Playa address.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, just do it. Just don't tell me about it.
You're giving me permission to hook up with other people
Yes.
at Burning Man?
Yes.
Is this real?
Yes. But I do have a manipulation behind it.
I don't believe that this is real.
Well, because here's my manipulation.
Okay.
Then Burning Man can be that for you, and you'll never ask to take our child. Because then you'll have to decide, am I going to have like sex at 38th and X all day and do not give me chlamydia though.
Wait, I mean, look, this is to me.
It's your choice.
To me, this is indicative not of how open-minded you are, but of how unbelievably
short-sighted I am.
Important it is for you that the child never comes to Burning Man.
No, it's not important. And maybe when she's 8, but I'm not trying to go there like next year. That just seems exhausting and annoying and dirty and dusty and inappropriate. And why? Let's just put her in an outdoor school.
You would be willing to give me a hall pass.
Yes.
For Burning Man.
Yes.
In exchange for nothing more than me not bringing our child to Burning Man ever?
Yes.
I mean, that is completely ridiculous.
And just don't give me STDs though.
Yeah, okay, but this doesn't, to be honest with you, this doesn't feel real.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't feel fully sincere.
I mean, there's definitely a world where I didn't pitch it.
Well, I could tell you there's definitely a world where you didn't pitch it on the podcast. That's part of the fact that I haven't heard this until we started recording the podcast is what makes me think this isn't a fully real offer.
It's probably not thought through, but it did occur to me that if that could be your time to just be you, then you also wouldn't maybe start asking for other addictions, like things like wanting to drink again or do drugs or whatever.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Now this is feeling really not healthy. You're saying this is a negotiation so that I don't start drinking again?
I mean, I don't think you're prone to do that even. I'm just saying, it's like letting you, I don't know how you relax. I relax most nights by having a glass of wine, but you can't do that. All you can do is stick little nicotine pouches in your gum cavity, and I feel so bad for you because that is the worst way to party.
I relax primarily by mutual masturbation with a dust-covered woman with neon dreadlock extensions who's got a playa name. That's sort of my...
Well, go do it. Because like that, and I now that I know you, I know that you would have like the chances of you finding someone to fall in love with seem very small.
Honey, I've never fallen in love with anyone other than you.
I know. So I'm like, if you want to go do that, have fun. Just don't give me chlamydia.
This feels like a trap. This does feel like a trap. I don't know what to say. I don't know if you're listening. If you listen back to the previous episode, I did give my coordinates of where I'll be camping, but I don't know
Wait, were those your real coordinates?
No. Geez, Natasha, you definitely came out of left field with this one. I definitely wasn't anticipating.
All right, well, maybe
this.
I'll change my mind. Let me think about it.
No, you can't think about it. This is already on record. You know that this podcast
it was just amusing.
This podcast episode will be played in the courtroom in our Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. They'll play this episode and I will be fully exonerated. And me and my 3 girlfriends, Button Willow, Circuit Breaker, and Christ X, those are their playa names, we'll all be sitting there shaking our head in judgment at you.
Maybe it'd be fun for you.
I'm sure it would. I mean, it would at least temporarily, but I like being with you.
All right, I'm just
Is this prelude to an end? Is this prelude to a divorce?
No, I'm just saying.
Damn, this is cool. All right, well, let's get through this podcast.
That's what I was worried about. I was like, oh, maybe that's not smart. Maybe that's a sabotage or something.
Of you're sabotaging?
Maybe, I don't know. But I was like, oh, if that would really do it for you, then do it.
Well, this is a message to the fellas. If you want something bad enough, you ask, and then 8 years later, I'm all elderly too, so it'll be harder.
Oh my God, that would be so sweet if I let you do it and you came back and you didn't. Oh, but don't tell me.
Wait, yeah, I won't tell you if I don't, but if I do, this is gonna be complicated. Wait, I just thought of the flaw in your plan.
What?
If I do hook up with somebody at Burning Man, right?
Yeah.
And I really forge a connection with them.
Yeah.
Then we can bring our child because I'll have built-in childcare for us to be able to go have a date on Playa or whatever. I'll be like, have you met Circuit Breaker? She's going to be babysitting our child tonight. Natasha, I don't think that... Listen, we weren't... Just before the podcast, we were talking about what we should talk about. We were kind of stumped because we haven't had any good fights lately and things have been pretty good. And then you were like, wait, I do have something.
Well, I didn't mean to bring it up on the podcast.
Well, I'm just saying.
It gave me the courage.
Okay, well, geez. Let's not take a break. Let's get through this episode real quick. I got to get to packing.
You're going to go 2 weeks early.
Well, I just realized I have something. I don't know if I have enough room in my RV for the condoms. I don't know if I have the space. I have to order a gross of condoms.
But see, this is already more than I ever want to hear.
I'm just kidding. It's all a joke.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
All right,
Natasha,
what?
Anything for content, and I love you for that.
No,
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, listen. Next week, let me just state next week I might change my mind.
Okay.
Let me just think about it now that I put it out there.
Well, we've got a month. Should we take a call?
Let's do it.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
You wanted to talk to me about pillowcases?
I went on this website because I had heard about it from Anderson Cooper's biography about the Vanderbilts, and 3 pillowcases were like $1,800.
Right. And then you remembered.
Brooklinen
makes Anderson Cooper Gloria Vanderbilt level pillowcases at a fraction of the price. It's not even close to $1,800. In fact, it's cheaper than you can find in a store.
And they're stylish. By working directly with suppliers, too, Brooklinen cuts out the luxury markups and passes those savings back to their customers. So you get their incredible products at a reasonable cost. You're not getting hijacked.
By as they say, the Vanderbilt 25%. Here's the thing. We sleep on Brooklinen sheets, and they're the most comfortable sheets we've slept on, and they're super reasonably priced. They've just launched a new product line, which is all kinds of colors and patterns for all of their sheets, towels, and robes think about like bold pops of color and adventurous prints with some limited edition collections, which are selling out in as little as a month.
Or
They're
do
dope.
what I do. I do all white all the time.
Yeah, I love a pattern sheet. Whatever you like, we know you like quality. We know you like affordability, and Brooklinen has both down pat. They also have waffle robes. They've got mulberry silk eye masks and pillowcase sets that will not set you back as much as a Vanderbilt.
Check out Brooklinen today and find the best gifts for every couple on your list this year. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code ENDLESS. By the way, I just did this. I just ordered another duvet to get $20 off your purchase of $100 or more plus free shipping.
That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code ENDLESS for $20 off plus free shipping. You deserve to sleep on great sheets. Brooklinen. Okay.
Welcome to the...
No, we already did that. We're all a little punch drunk over here.
Now we're going to call David in Colorado.
I was going to talk about my new glasses. That's the intro I had. Talk about the glasses. David!
Moshe, are you okay?
I'm fine. Hey, David.
Hello.
David, you have to let me know your skin routine. You are absolutely glowing.
You are a gorgeous man, and I wonder, are you going to Burning Man this year by any chance?
I've never been. I think you're the leading factor in maybe convincing me, though.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to go.
Guess what? Things just got a lot spicier, so we'll see you there.
I've already changed my mind.
All right. Anyway, David, there's some backstory you're not familiar with, but you'll hear it when this episode comes out. David, how can we help?
Okay. Very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Oh, thanks.
We have a perfect teeth only rule on the podcast, so our guests are only allowed to have absolute perfect teeth. So you're in.
Oh, I appreciate it. You guys are you're full of I was afraid I was like something was gonna like judge my background or something.
No.
I appreciate the compliments.
No, we're horny for your foreground.
All right. I've been in a relationship with a woman now who in the past few months started a job with a very small consultancy that's just 4 other people. And all of those are middle-aged men who seem like frat bros that never grew up. And I can provide more context around why I think that, but basically I'm essentially looking for help on both how to deal with that myself, how to not feel so anxious about that, as well as communicate to her that I'm somewhat uncomfortable with it.
You're uncomfortable with hanging out with the frat guys?
Or you're feeling sexually jealous, like something weird might happen.
Yeah. I have never met them yet. So it's more how much time she spends with them, especially outside of work contexts, where it's just her and them 4 guys.
I'm sorry, can you repeat, why does she need to hang out with them?
They own a business together.
They're all, she was their 5th hire, and it's these 4...
Ugh.
bros that hang out together and her and
have you has there been a lot of functions so far where she has to hang out with them? I'm sure there's going to be a social situation.
She had to chug 4 beers and crush them on her forehead in order to get the job, right?
Yeah, that was exactly the interview. And then they just named your price and she was in. And let me, I guess, give a little more context. So I first was just kind of, for the exact reason Natasha just gave, I had that exact thing, but obviously felt like that was just an intuition. But now there's been precedent set. So she has gone on multi-day overnight trips with them where they're fishing together and drinking whiskey, and she's, they're forcing.
Oh my God, there is no way one of them is not trying to fuck her. Who are these guys? These are like Generation X frat boys. Ugh, the worst. These are like 40. Are these like 45-year-old bros?
Now hold
right?
on. Natasha's validating you, but I'm not willing to fully validate you yet. I have some questions. How old is your girlfriend?
We're in our late 20s.
Oh my God.
And how old are these fellas?
They look late, like mid to late 40s at the youngest.
Wait, are you saying they look
They
old?
look younger, probably, right?
Or they look younger?
They look very young.
Oh,
No, they look middle age. They look like our dads, my dad or something.
Not my dad. My dad looks like a skeleton. That's how old I am.
Wait, is your girlfriend as cute as you are, as the female version?
Of course.
She's much cuter. Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Okay, hold on a second.
4 bros.
Okay, hold on a
Oh
second.
my God.
Has your girlfriend given you any indication? I'm not with you, Natasha.
Okay.
Has your girlfriend given you any indication that she is untrustworthy when it comes to fidelity or monogamy?
Good point.
No, definitely the lack of trust is not necessarily coming from her. It's coming from how much she hangs out with them and how much alcohol is involved, usually on their side. They're kind of pushing that, and there's a power dynamic there. She's drinking a lot more than she ever has, for sure, by being with them.
Okay. And now let me ask you this. Could you be trusted to work in a consultancy with 4 40-year-old women that were extreme sports enthusiasts and also liked malt liquor? Would you fuck those women?
I don't think so. I've never once felt a tug of cheating in any relationship.
So you were capable of being trusted, but the girl that you have decided that you love and want to be committed to, she somehow, because of the dynamic, she's compromised in some way.
It just feels like there's some, I mean, maybe it's rude. There just feels like some naivete around it, right? Around her being like, they're great guys. They're so smart. They're amazing. But like, they're forcing her to take shots with them when they go on overnight trips at a hotel, and there's that power dynamic there. It's not her that I mistrust, it's them.
I have a very important question. This is probably the most important question. Does your girlfriend like her job?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's that's the absolute first thing, like, and also, I don't know. I mean, it's like she likes her job. What are you going to do?
I gotta say, this sounds like Rocky Mountain jealousy. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but this just sounds like classic. It's couched in this like Colorado evergreen, river runs through it, aspens turning gold kind of language, but it just sounds like jealousy.
And she's hot, so it's not. If it's not these 4 guys, it's another 4 guys, and then it's the other guys, and then the husband of her best friend, and you know what I mean. It just goes on and on.
I'm thinking to myself, you keep. I don't mean to be harsh here, but you keep saying to her like, oh, they're forcing her to. Are they forcing her to take shots? Are they like pinning her down and pouring Jaeger down her throat?
But I think A, there's a desire to want to fit in. B, there's a power dynamic, right? They're her bosses. And C, she never drank this much before. So I think there's a little bit of the peer pressure of, come on, why don't you hang out with us and take shots with us?
I'm getting a little more. I'm getting a little more info. So she loves her job. What does she tell you about these guys? Does she say they make me drink, but I really want to impress them? Or is she like pretty laid back and easy about it and having fun?
I think a little bit of both. Exactly for the reason Natasha says, if I tried to switch it, I'm sure the attention is great, right? When you have a bunch of people that you're new, they're paying attention. I'm sure that's fun and exciting. And I also think she wants to catalyze her own career, right? I don't think she wants to say, no, I'm not drinking, I'm not hanging out with you, because then she would be the outsider.
But what does she tell you? Does she say it's fun?
It's fun. It's definitely mixed. I think she definitely gets overwhelmed. I think they are bros. So
What's the worst
she can only
thing?
Take so much of it at a time.
What's the worst thing she's ever told you about the bros in a social situation?
The gangbang, right? The gangbang's got to be the worst thing, right?
Oh man, I don't know. There's quite a few.
Just so I can get.
So they were on an overnight trip. Their very first overnight trip that they've all 5 ever taken together, somewhere out of state. They're all at a hotel together, and it's a weeknight.
Someone in the group is so trying to fuck her.
I'm just not as convinced as the rest of you. I'm withholding judgment, but go ahead.
I still don't think there's anything you can do about it, but yeah, so wait, go ahead.
They're on the trip. It's a weeknight. They're in a hotel.
Right. And that's just when basically she drank enough to throw up, and she's never done that before in her. They are heavy drinkers. They drink almost every day. They got alcohol in the desks, etc. And they're just pushing that on her over and over while they're away. It's a weeknight. She doesn't drink much. They know this, and they're just pushing it on her. And she got overwhelmed that night and had to call me because she's throwing up everywhere and wasn't thrilled about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a few other incidences that are similar. Just the way she introduces them when they're in meetings. She said, like, we need a way to break up the bros is kind of how they introduce her to new clients and stuff.
Well,
like that.
She should talk to them about that.
Wait, this is interesting. This is why this was a question I was about to ask you. I have 2 questions about them. but my first one is connected to what you just said. Why did they hire her? Did they hire
to
her
break up the bros?
Yeah. To me, that isn't an ignoble reason for four bros to hire a young woman.
But she wants to be introduced with her credits and her talent.
Now, hold on. That brings me to my second big question. I'll put okay. I have so many questions, but my second big question about them is, have they done anything beyond just like partying and chugging and drinking Jaeger and comparing tribal tattoos and talking about what the best malt liquor is and what the best Sublime album is and stuff like that and comparing flip-flops and stuff? Beyond that stuff, have they done anything in reality, not in your paranoid fantasies mind's eye, but in reality, to suggest to you that they have any untoward or irresponsible intent when it comes to your girlfriend and her position at their company?
I mean, irresponsible intent, I would say, is having the youngest person, like not looking out for her well-being, getting her so drunk that she's throwing up everywhere. I'd say that's a little irresponsible. But
they're not her father.
They're not trying to fuck her.
And they're not, they're not like disrespecting her. There's just dynamics at the workplace that you're feeling increasingly uncomfortable with, and the gender disparity is increasing that discomfort.
By the way, I have it. I know what you should do.
I have more questions, but go ahead.
I think that, if you have a more Buddhist outlook on life, like everything is sort of grist for the mill in the sense of like, opportunities to grow and change and become better and maybe have this relationship become even stronger. And I think one of the things that you could really do is just encourage her to stick up for herself with the drinking, and she can say, I'm a two drinks person. Please don't push me more than that. Like just stand up for herself and maybe talk to the lead guy and say, hey, it would be awesome. No, am I wrong?
Strong disagree.
Why? And then he can help her be like, be encouraged to stick up for herself more.
Well, I strongly disagree with this suggestion that he talks to the guy.
No, I'm not saying he talks to the guy.
Maybe I misunderstood
you. I'm saying he
you.
talks to his girlfriend.
And tell her to talk to the guy.
Yeah, like encourage her to like just say to them, listen guys, like I only drink 2 drinks, and encourage her to have boundaries with them, or encourage her to get a therapist to speak about that, because it's really important because you really believe in her. She's up and coming, and she wants to like get to where she's going. It's kind of like being in Hollywood. She's got to like climb the ranks of these like annoying bros and be nice to them and talk to them, and
Okay, I do. It turns out I do disagree with you, Natasha.
Still?
I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but here's where I'm going to put your feet to the fire, okay? This is because you talk about a power dynamic differential between her and these guys, but you seem to be, and I don't mean to be harsh, but you seem to be unintelligent. No, I'm just kidding. It'd be funny to say, I don't mean to be harsh, but I find you to be an idiot. No, I'm joking. You seem to be missing out on another power dynamic differential, which is your power dynamic differential with your girlfriend. A lot of the language that I am hearing from you is she's being pushed to take these drinks. She's being taken advantage of in these different ways. She's being introduced in these ways that are uncomfortable. But I'm not hearing from, first of all, you're disempowered. This is what it seems like to me. You're taking away her agency as an adult, making these choices to drink herself. Like she's making these choices herself. She's not being forced to drink by older bosses. She's a grown-up that is deciding to drink in these ways. And I imagine that if, like, I understand your concern, and I don't think it's totally unwarranted and weird, but I also imagine it would feel pretty condescending and even a little bit maybe devaluing for you to tell your girlfriend, because what it sounds like to me, what you're intimating is they hired you not because of how skilled you are at your job, but because you're a young, hot chick that they can hang around and break up their bro energy. Now, if I'm your girlfriend and I hear the man that I love say that to me, right? That you got hired because you're like this eye candy bro breaker upper, and they're just there to take advantage of. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I have value. Fuck you. Like I got the job because I rule, right? So that's just something for you, I think, to be really aware of with this stuff. And like, like to me, what I would be watching out for if Natasha is saying, help her drink less or to help her be monitor her drinking a little better.
No, help her have boundaries around these guys.
But has she expressed to you that they are violating her boundaries? Has she expressed to you that her drinking is feeling uncomfortable to her? And here's a bigger question. This is the point that I was trying to get to is, have you seen any, yes, she threw up. That's bad. You never want to drink so much you throw up. That feels unhealthy. Is that a chronic condition? Is it affecting your home life? Are you noticing that your relationship is being negatively affected by this new behavior? Or is it all in your mind and you're fearing things that might happen? I'm curious. Are there consequences to this new job?
I think it's definitely the second part, right? Like it's definitely mostly in my head. And it's not like that's a chronic condition. That's happened the first time. It's just these recurring things that definitely spin stories in my head, especially the longer she spends time with him. Like that 6-day overnight trip where there's a lot of drinking going on. I don't know what she's not telling me too. Maybe she did throw up again. I don't know. I only knew about it that one time. But you are correct that it's in my head a lot of the time.
And do you, when she calls you drunk or whatever, like what do you say?
I mean, that time it was mostly just to help calm her down. I think she was kind of freaking out because she wasn't used to that. Like she'd never thrown up from alcohol before. She's obviously not feeling great. I think the part that I also left out on that made me even more uneasy is that night when they were all drinking, she had called me and then put them on the phone, or I don't exactly know how they ended up on her phone. And they were just chit-chatting, shooting the shit with me, and ended the phone call saying, we just want to make sure she has good friends looking after her. That's what they addressed, knowing that I'm her boyfriend. That's how they ended that phone call.
You're saying
ew, I hate them.
You're saying, well, you don't like bros. You're saying the good friends part was the part you felt kind of cucked out and devalued as her partner, her romantic partner.
Yeah, I think so.
That is lame. And like, here's the thing. How long have you guys been together? And I think this is the last thing I'm going to say.
A little over 8 months.
Okay, this is a new relationship. I really want to like be in movies in Hollywood and make it and really like.
Yeah, right.
Hold on, but 4 bros. If I had to hang out with 4 bros to like be in like the next Wes Anderson movie for like even 5 months, I'd say I'm good. I think I'll just camp with Moshe. Seriously. So I'm just saying, like, if this girl just has this like indefatigable hole in her like heart to do whatever, that might be something you want to know. Like she might be like, I don't care. I'll suck a bro's dick. If it's gonna help me or whatever, or I'll hang out with them, or I'll pander to them, or I don't know, like whatever. You have to make sure that you guys like see some like. That you guys are like eye to eye on a lot of things, and you're finding all this out. So
once again, I'm not on Team Natasha for this. I mean, I do hear the logic of what you're saying, Natasha. I don't think it's, and you, by the way, I don't think that I'm not hearing you and going like, you guys are fucking paranoid and crazy. What I'm hearing, like,
she's the kind of girl who hangs out with bros.
You don't know what kind of girl she is.
I wouldn't.
Okay. But you're also 20 years older than her and have.
I didn't.
Right. Okay, fine. Here's what I think. To me, I'm now realizing this conversation for you and your girlfriend, this is my feeling. I was going to say, I don't mean to give you unsolicited advice, but actually it's incredibly solicited because you called.
It's very solicited.
It's so solicited. You need to reframe this from a conversation about caring, protecting her into a conversation about your insecurity. Because that's what this is. This is insecurity. Even if your fears are eventually found out to be grounded. Even if.
They are grounded.
They're not grounded.
The guy's calling and her immediately, I already know what's happening. She's drunk. They're like, hey, call your guy. What is he? Is he a little pussy? Wait, I thought that guy was gay. Oh, that's your boyfriend? Oh, you guys are boyfriends? Here, let's call him right now. Let's call him. Okay. And then you're like, hello? Lucy? And then she's like, and they're like, oh, we just wanted to make sure she had a friend. Pot boiler shots. And then they all put their shots in the beer and drink it and spill on her. And she's like, into it. It sounds like it.
Unbelievable.
It
sounds like she's into it. So that is the kind of person you're dating. I'm just saying.
Unbelievable bigotry. Try to imagine, Natasha, if you reframed that exact dialogue, but instead of bros, it was people of color. Just think about it. Think about it. Think about how swift the cancellation would come. You bigot. You dare.
It's more about like bros are bullies.
No, listen. I disagree.
And I don't, and they're like sex bullies.
Hold on.
And
okay.
nobody wants them.
It's so funny because my advice is to reframe it about your insecurity, and Natasha's advice is literally like pouring like fertilizer and water on top of the sprouting buds of said insecurity. But listen, again, I don't think that you're like super off base. I don't think you're like a paranoid fool for feeling this insecurity, right? What I always used to say about fear is even if the fear comes true, it was still fake because it was still just you ruminating on possible horrible outcomes that could come. That space that you're in when you're fantasizing about worse outcomes is still not real, even if it eventually proves to be true. I don't know if that even makes sense, but that's how it always felt because I'm still in the realm of fantasy, worst case fantasy. So this is my thought. Natasha, I wonder if you think I'm totally off base here. You need to have a conversation with your girlfriend, not to protect her from the bros, but to protect your relationship from being compromised by your insecurity. Like that's the part that you actually have control over. You don't have control over how those bros act. I would say you don't have the right to try to assert control over whether or not she goes on work retreats or whether or not she drinks. That's not your job. She's an adult. Your job is to tell, I think, your girlfriend, I'm feeling a lot of insecurity about this new work environment. You're a grown up and you're your own woman, and I don't have the right to tell you anything. I know that. I just want to be honest with you about the way that I'm feeling. I'm feeling like what? Why are you laughing at me?
I'm sorry. I just cannot get over having to go for 6 days with like 5 best friends who are like bros from the 90s who are like trying to pressure me into having sex. Like that sounds
where did this pressure you and having sex thing come from? You just made that up.
She's hot. There's no way.
There is a way.
Okay, keep going.
There is a way. There is a way in which this thing, you are misinterpreting this. It is. Here's a possibility, okay? There's 4 bros. They have a corporate culture, and they know they're bros. They know they're like alpha kind of guys. They know that they're like party guys, and they're having a conversation about their business. I don't know what this business is. I don't think you should say probably because your girlfriend probably won't appreciate that. They're having a conversation about their corporate, the way that their corporation looks. And they're like, you know what? We're just 4 bros. We should probably hire a woman to offset some of this, energy. Let's hire like a badass woman, a young woman who can come and shift our corporate culture or whatever. But they're still like, we party. That's what we do. We like to rock in the evergreens or whatever they do in Colorado, right? We go river rafting and then we drink, Seagrams and 7 all night long. So then they hire your girlfriend and they're like, this is awesome. We've balanced out our corporate culture, but they're still like, let's party. And you are looking at it and thinking what Natasha's thinking, like there's no way this thing couldn't be. I'm not saying there's no red flags here. I'm just saying that as the partner of this girl, your job isn't to protect her from drinking. It's not to unless that drinking starts to have consequences in your relationship. If she comes home drunk, look, if Natasha came home blackout drunk, puking every night, it would be an issue, a serious issue.
But 3 days a week, he's cool with.
No, this happened one time, right? Have you ever puked from drinking?
I've puked. I haven't blacked out.
I'm just saying you've puked from drinking.
Yeah.
So it's not healthy. Getting so drunk you vomit isn't a healthy look, but it's not a chronic problem. The chronic problem is, oh my God, my partner all of a sudden pukes every night. This is happening all the time. She's developing an alcohol problem. This is bad. So what I'm saying is you're not there yet. Right now, you're in an 8-month, Natasha's right, you're in an 8-month relationship. It's new. You're feeling, the reality of this is, you're feeling insecurity. This is my feeling. You're feeling insecurity, and you are uncomfortable with admitting that I'm just feeling general, basic insecurity about her. And so I decided to make that insecurity easier to process by doing this like kind of paternalistic, I've got to protect my girlfriend from these bad bros. And in reality, you have to protect your relationship from this poisonous feeling of insecurity that will eventually take over your entire relationship unless you have some open communication. It's time to talk to her and like get it all out on the table, not in the like you need to stop this, but in the I need to get this off my chest so that we can be closer. That's my feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good luck, honey. I'm
Thank
just
you
going to
both
tell you
so
now,
much.
it's not going to end well.
I think it could end well. I think it could
They're
end
going
well.
to break up.
No, it could end well. You could have this conversation with her where you say, I'm feeling all this insecurity, and she could respond and say, there's a number of options, right? These are all conjecture and they're all fake. But she could respond and say, well, I'm just doing me and get off my back. Fuck you, man. And then you go, oh, wow, I'm kind of losing her.
Or do I want to be with someone who talks to me like that?
Exactly. She could respond and go, oh my God, I'm so glad you said something, because the truth is I've been feeling increasingly uncomfortable about what I've been doing. She could respond and say, oh, you know what? That's so sweet of you to say, but actually here's what's going on for me, and give and somehow tell you some stuff that'll make you go, you know what? She's got her head squarely on her shoulders. I don't need to feel so insecure. She could respond and say, why don't you start coming on these corporate retreats with us so that you can, we can be close and it won't feel weird. There's a number of different options.
And mention that phone call, because those guys were definitely cucking you out, and they were telling her, call him. And then she called him, and then they were like, yep, you guys are just friends, right?
Because right. But
I'm just saying, you can tell her that made me uncomfortable. Because
right now, what's happening to me is you are in the fear rumination phase, where you have a little bit of information and you are making a lot of imagination stuff happen. There's a lot of like, what if this is happening? What if this means that this is eventually going to happen? None of this is in the realm of reality. What's is real is you have a person that you're in a relationship with. You decide to be in a relationship with her for a reason, probably because you think she's awesome, and you don't need to protect her, and you don't need to doubt that she's as awesome as you thought she was. You need to like tell her, I think you're awesome and I'm feeling this way. How can we get through it? That's what I think.
All right. Well, good luck.
All right. Thank you both. I love you guys.
Hope we helped. And
love you too.
All right. Bye.
Wait, what?
Well, he should play this back for her at some point and then hear me roasting the bros, and then she'll think they're dumb too. Maybe.
That's honestly not a bad idea, because truly between Natasha and me, you have the two sides of the way to interpret this. And I think Natasha, I understand that reaction. I just think like, all growth is like an inside job. It's all about me. How am I getting better? So even if this stuff turns out to be true, it's still like, it's not healthy to be looking at the person you love and going, well, I love her, but I don't think I can trust her with 4 guys for a weekend because, I don't love her that much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good luck.
Bye.
Do you have any thoughts?
Okay. I can't. I actually I'm late for something right now, so I can't keep going.
Okay.
But thank you both.
Goodbye. Peace.
Me and him are like, wrap it up, Moshe.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Good luck. Yeah, you just fully think that he's right and that's bad.
No, I just don't. It's a new relationship.
Right.
And this girl is like really ambitious. She's ambitious enough. Here's what concerns me. Anyone ambitious enough to hang out on like work retreats with 5 bros, I don't know if they're going to stick around for
I don't know. But
little old him.
You said, come on, he was cute. You said to me, you want to be in movies. Let's say you were 28, right? By the way, you have been in movies in the last few months, just so you know. Natasha's going to be in Chelsea Peretti's new movie, first-time female director, and Bill Burr's new movie. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, let's say when we got together. Let's say you were a lot younger than you were when we got together. You're 28, right? You were still breaking in. You're a pretty established one, and you got a job, where you were a co-star with, Adam Sandler and David Spade and I don't know, guys that are like guys or whatever. I mean, they're a little bit older now, so I don't think they party hard. But
those aren't bros. Those are like
my point
comedic
is
geniuses. Yeah, if I was put in a corner with 4 comedic geniuses,
you're picking the part of the argument I'm not making. What I'm saying is you got a job on a movie and it was with 4 bros, let's say, right? And they're partying and they're going wild, and you're off on set with them and you're having a great time. You're filming this movie and your dream is coming true, right? And I am back at home, like ruminating and stewing on this, and I'm going like, I don't know. She's drinking with Bert Kreischer a little too much on set. I don't know. This isn't cool. And then I bring that insecurity to you, and I'm like saying to you, like, they just hired you because you're hot, right? It's like, isn't that demeaning? Isn't that undermining who you are as an actor and as a comedian?
Yes.
And
even if you're thinking that it is.
well, you can't really help what you think, but
but you could try to, train your mind.
And then I try to like couch it in the and I think honestly the amount you're drinking is a little bit sketch. It's just like, to me, there's an argument to be made for what you're saying, which is like, this seems a little weird. But there's also an argument to be made for like, let this person who you love thrive without your protection. I'm not in a relationship.
Let them go to Burning Man and open up their relationship for.
That's what I'm saying.
The days he's there.
You seem that you have learned the lesson I'm trying to teach young Perfect Tooth David.
All right, well.
No, you don't buy it. You think it's over, huh?
I should have asked her if any of those guys had families.
That would have been a good question.
I wonder what the ratio is. But clearly, I bet half of them do, and then the two that do probably cheat. So
I just think, assuming the worst about your partner and about her business partners, I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, no, they sounded like a real cool group of guys.
Maybe she's getting railed in a creek on top of a Colorado mountain right now.
They don't seem like they have very good communication. If they didn't even talk about that, and she just called him some night and put other guys on the phone.
No, I hear you.
That is like so rude.
I would feel
then laughed and hung up.
No,
and that's the last of the phone call.
The phone call was a little rough. Yeah, if I was sitting at home ruminating on what you were doing, and then all of a sudden I get a call, and it was Bert. And he's just like, she's fucking drunk as shit. I would definitely feel more insecure.
Yeah, those guys seem unprofessional.
That is, I would say, an understatement.
Yeah, so why would it end well?
You know who I think sounds very professional? You, giving advice. And I was wondering if we could do some more.
Sure.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
Would you happen to be the owner of 3 geriatric dying dogs?
If I can't even be in a car with them anymore because the smell of their decaying mouths.
Well, you might have issues with your pet as well, and it's so difficult to get yourself up and out and get to a vet, and that's where Fuzzy comes along. They bring the vet to your home.
Fuzzy is a telehealth service for pet parents that offers 24/7 access to personalized pet care from veterinary professionals.
Yeah, sometimes you have to bring them in, but sometimes you don't, and you just need a friendly face on your screen to tell you what's wrong. Right now, Fuzzy is offering our listeners a free 7-day trial membership. Go to yourfuzzy.com/honeymoon today to sign up.
From everyday questions to middle-of-the-night emergencies, Fuzzy has the answers pet parents need. That's a free 7-day trial and access to exclusive member discounts on pet meds. We have a lot of those. Supplements, food, and more at yourfuzzy.com/honeymoon.
Again, yourfuzzy.com/honeymoon for your free trial of Fuzzy with access to 24/7 personalized pet care and vet recommended products.
Okay, now we're going to call Sasha in Mammoth, California.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of bros live up there. They like snowboarding.
This is a mountain kind of episode.
Mammoth, that's probably beautiful. Small town though, a small town mentality, I bet.
Cool. What's happening?
Hey, Rachel.
Hi.
Good.
What's her name? Oh, hey, Sasha.
Sasha, yeah, sorry.
She just heard a Jewish name and thought, why not? What's happening, Sasha? How's Mammoth?
Pretty hot right now. I mean, it's summertime. It's jumping in the lake season. It is a little small town.
So you heard that, huh?
Liberal small town.
So you heard Natasha trashing mountain folk right before we talk to you. Do you miss fresh pow pow? Are you missing that pow pow? Do you wish there was more pow pow?
I'm missing that pow pow. I used to live in the Bay Area near San Francisco and
snap.
San Mateo.
Yeah.
So moved out
you
here.
You came for the pow pow. Yeah, I got you. And stayed for the lakes. I want to jump in a lake. That sounds dope.
It's lake jumping season, honey.
Yeah.
It's not pow pow season. It's lake. Those lakes are full because of that pow pow. That melt off. Sasha, how can we help?
Yes. So I reached out because I know that you've had an issue with nicotine. And my partner, my boyfriend, is addicted to vaping to an extent that I have never seen in my life before.
Does he have a bag where he keeps all the different little juices and stuff that he carries around?
He has like the disposable vapes. It's all in one. The battery's in there. The cartridge is in there. So there's like a drawer of 100 used ones in the house that we don't know how to recycle them because they're not recyclable.
Are they like the blue ones?
They're all colors. There's blue, orange.
No, the brand blue. Or
Honey, you are so out of touch.
Well, I'm trying to think of which ones
blue
aren't.
is like 9 generations ago.
I don't know which ones you can't recycle. Like you can't even change the cartridge.
Because they're batteries, right? You're saying that
Yeah, it's lithium batteries and nicotine.
Now wait a
toxic.
second.
Those are fun.
So
I want to start getting back into that.
So
now
he just.
that I hear about
Sasha's
it.
not wanting this advice. You're like, they're fun. You should just quit being uptight. Does he vape just like all day, every day through the house? Every time you're ever talking to him, he's just like vaporoo?
Yeah, it's like in the middle of conversations with friends in the car, so it like stinks up the entire car while I'm driving.
It smells good.
Like all of it.
It's so funny.
It's like permanent hookah bar, like everywhere you go.
And you don't do it at all.
No, I've never.
You should start. It's
right.
fun.
Have you thought about starting? That could really help. Because if you got addicted, you wouldn't bother you so much.
Yeah, but the whole point is that it might kill me. And
yeah, she's not into it.
Mm-hmm.
No, she shouldn't do it. That's
I'm joking.
Bad advice that I would do.
Yeah.
Has he expressed the problem with vaping? I miss vaping.
And Moshe would have a cloud in bed, like he'd just be vaping in this like cloud over the bed. Yeah. You know, it's
the problem with vaping is it doesn't. The benefits of it make it worse. So like the fact that it doesn't like make your lungs ache and make you hungover the way cigarette smoking does. You know, if you smoke a lot of cigarettes the next day, you kind of feel like shit. You don't feel that with vaping, and so it feels so innocuous and benign that you start just doing it a little more and a little more until pretty soon, before you know it, you're just puffing. You're just making clouds all day. You know.
Yeah, and you could do it in public places where cigarettes aren't okay. Like people just allow it because it does smell fruity, so it's not that bad.
Have you
so evil?
Have you thought about? Has he expressed any interest in lessening? What does he say when you complain about it?
When we first started dating, he made an effort of like, oh, I'm going to stop for 1 day. I'm going to stop for 3 days. I think 3 days was the max he ever got to.
I have the answer.
Oh, what's the answer?
You need to pick like one place, maybe 2, that you would like to decree a vape-free zone. And without sounding like a school marm, like maybe you could say it really cute. Like, I don't know, wherever, if it's maybe in the bed but that might make him leave. I don't know. Or you could be like at the table, or I don't know, just say like the amount is like kind of intense for me. Like I was hoping we could maybe just have one like during this time. I don't know. You have to think about what makes sense for you. And if he's like, no, then that's very informative of his character, I think. So I think that establishing a few safe zones would be good. Or maybe it's a room.
I like this advice because
we live together at this point. So vaping not in the bed would be great.
Yeah. So maybe that's your thing. The bed is for us to fucking, honey.
Yeah. That seems like your energy, Sasha. That seems like something you'd say. You seem like that type of person that would aggressively say that. No, I even have suggestions on what the vape-free zones should be. Bed is good. Your car, right? Yeah. While you're driving, that seems reasonable.
Yeah,
and I would think.
And give him a dispensation for road trips, maybe. Because he's going to say,
long drives.
He's like, what about when we drive? What about when we drive to to find the pow pow in Tahoe, or whatever. That'll be his out, and you say road trips are an exemption, but when we're just driving. Because I'm stuck in the car with you, and then the do you have a dining room?
It's kind of. It's like a small place, studio style.
I would just say like when we're like at the dinner table, because he's not. It doesn't sound like you are saying you have to stop vaping altogether. Is that right?
I would prefer it, but more I would just not prefer it in bed, in the car, in enclosed spaces where I'm getting exposure to it that I don't want.
Okay, that seems reasonable to me.
And that's a little more than just decreeing one little area vape-free zone. If you're really scared of the exposure, I think another way to couch it to him is you're just a little scared of the exposure for both of us. Like you're definitely, worried about him in a way because his vaping does seem like pretty constant. And you can be like, and think about, honey, does that really seem safe? Like normal person would be like, yes, I believe that inhaling a vape 30 times a minute is probably not healthy,
But I know the mind of the vapist. And
yeah, their argument is just, it's better than the cigarettes I used to smoke. Just be happy I don't do that anymore.
So
that's a good argument, but it's not a good argument for you having to deal with it.
But also for his health. That is also not a good argument for his health, because we don't know what, the studies are still coming in, and the frequency is like a little intense for you, and you worry about him.
But you're not going to get him to stop vaping. The guy's a vapist, and you're not going to get him to stop vaping by going, do you know what's unhealthy? I mean, that's just like, it just is. It ain't going to happen. But you do have and also you're not saying stop vaping or I'm going to break up with you, right? You're not there. Is that right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But I can see if it still continues in the bed in the car, I could get there.
So there you go.
Can she tell him that?
I think, I wouldn't put it like that. I wouldn't put it like, if you don't stop this, I'm going to break up with you.
No, you're right. That's bad.
It just seems like that's like harsh. What I would do is I would say,
sweetly, I'd like to establish some vape-free zones. I know you don't think you're addicted or whatever, however you want to couch it, but I worry for my health, and I have to say I do worry about your health too. I'm trying to read articles on it. We just don't really know their ban. Like right now, there's like a ban. Like there's a current ban. People are trying to
get out of this stuff.
Okay,
just saying, get out of this whole like. There's a scientific. You got to know that your lung. He doesn't care because he vapes. He already, he's not a complete idiot. He's like decided that he wants to vape despite the fact that there's probably health stuff. But we don't know what forget the science of vaping. The reality is you don't like it. You're being exposed to it against your will, and you're not going to break up with him unless he stops vaping, right? That's not your reality right now.
Yeah.
If that were your reality, I would say you should tell him that, and that's your reality. But it's not. You're down to stay with him if he just becomes a little bit more respectful of your space, your lungs, your stuff.
Yes, and she can even say that. Yeah. Shared spaces. Yeah, maybe it's a little stronger than a one little zone. Maybe it's like our shared space, but that's kind of like kicking him out.
Well, I was going to say there's tiers. Tier 1 is stop vaping or I can't be with you. You have the right to say that, but that's not where you're at. Tier 2 is no more vaping in our house, period.
He's just, that's not fair.
It might be fair.
You're addicted to vaping.
Go outside. That's what you do with cigarettes.
Go outside?
Well, I'm just saying these are the tiers.
Right, because cigarettes, it's like reasonable to go outside.
You know how
vaping feels like a cheat code.
Listen, you know how... let me put it in terms you can understand, Sasha. You know how in Mammoth there's triple black diamonds, and then there's double black diamonds, and right? So these are the tiers. Right now, he's vaping at a triple black diamond level. He's vaping at the highest difficulty setting possible. And I'm not saying any of these are reasonable or unreasonable. I'm just saying like it would be reasonable for you to say no more vaping in our house. But it doesn't sound like you are making that line in the sand either, or the line in the pow pow either, right?
I just don't think he would be able to agree to that based on the level of the addiction.
And you're down to continue to be with him despite the fact that in some of your shared spaces, you're going to allow him to keep vaping. So
I think he's a really great person. It's just the vaping.
We're not telling you to break up.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to break up with him. I'm saying get real with yourself about what you need. So Natasha's suggestion seems like pretty reasonable. Right? Is like, okay, fine. I'm not willing to break up with you for the vaping. I'm not willing to say you have to go outside 100% of the time. Now I'm going to set some rules. None in the bedroom. None in the dining area.
Ooh, that's smart. Bring up that you considered the house, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought about that, and I've decided, you know what? That's too much right now.
You're gonna be a little nice.
I'm going to be a little nice, but just not when you. I don't want to. It's a pretty reasonable argument. I don't want to vape. I'm not a vapist. You're the one that has a problem with vaping. So don't say it like that. But you're the one that vapes. I don't know why I should have to vape just because you do. And if he says, well, think about it, cigarettes. Did he used to smoke cigarettes inside the house?
He stopped smoking cigarettes before we started dating, but he'll bring up how much he used to smoke a day, like going through packs and whatnot. So he's like, ultimately, this is better.
For him. but it's definitely worse for you.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with you. So just
I'd rather live with someone who vaped than a guy who smoked cigarettes.
right. But here's the thing.
But I'd rather live with someone who just doesn't smoke at all.
And also,
Well, that might be a bottom line for you.
yeah, but that
might be one of your non-negotiables.
Well, that's the other thing, to put it into terms that you can understand. You know how you sometimes you'll be on a black diamond and then you go, you know what? I'm shredding so hard. I'm shredding this pow so hard. I'm ready to actually move up to the triple black Ds, right? It might be true for you that you'll start this thing and you'll say, no vaping in the bed, no vaping in the car. And you'll go, you know what? This isn't good enough. I'm still not comfortable with what's happening. You have the right to then say, I'm still not comfortable with what's happening. Or to, you know what I mean? You have the right to set whatever boundary you want with your body. It's your body.
Yeah.
As a vapist, he doesn't respect the autonomy of other people's bodies.
Yeah, I guess, or I was thinking how like you leave toothpicks all over the house, or you used to chew gum all the time, like how there are just like habits that you've had that I've heard Natasha talk about a lot.
Sasha, let's not make this about me because I
it's hard, but I will say Moshe has impressed me because he was addicted to clove cigarettes when I met him. And then he became addicted to vapes, like what you're saying. And then he became addicted to Nicorette, and then toothpicks. And now the pouches, which I find the most disgusting of them all. Because they're like these little brown patches.
How have you been impressed with me? It doesn't sound like a story of you being impressed with me.
It's I was going to say that you've made it that far, and that's what I was curious about. Like,
I will say though, like today I was taking a shower and I was like, "What's that?" And it's like always one of them. It's like one of those little brown pouches, like kind of where my toothbrush is. I'm just saying. Okay,
This started with you being impressed with me.
But let me say, looking at that, if that's what's left of a smoking addiction, of him vaping in the house 24/7, because he was, and it was gross. And it wasn't just gross, it was alarming, because it's obviously not good for you to do that. It's like, that's obvious that...
We're getting back to vape science.
No, okay, but all I'm saying is, now there's just a little pouch here and there. I'm okay with it.
A pouch, if you will.
No, but there's just, I'm just saying... If he were vaping, I don't think I would deal with that. So I'm glad that you were able to
but you know what?
to the disgusting thing that you leave.
Actually, there you go.
Bathroom shelf.
You could get him some of these, and to put it in terms you can understand, little pouches. Mm-hmm. Like you could get him some of those and say...
They're slightly innocuous until they come out, because you don't really know the guy's doing it.
And say, if you're really that addicted to nicotine, you could do these on pouches, because they're also not tobacco. And when you're around me, all I'm saying is,
that's a good idea.
Right now, what it's about is you getting respect for your bodily autonomy.
Yes,
right? It's
and
like
I think
saying,
that is important.
It's super important. And you might, by the way, after all of these boundary settings, you might go, I don't want to be with this guy because he's addicted to nicotine, and I'm not down. Anything you're legit, but I think getting a little bit of, and if he says no to the no shared vaping thing, if he says no, you gotta strap on your snowboard, put your boots in the bindings, and start a run. If that is terminology that works for snow. I don't actually know, because I've been on snow 4 times, fallen down a lot, and said I don't think this is for me.
Well, I love skiing. I don't know if that's what you guys do in Mammoth.
Clearly
snowboarding,
a border, dude. Look at her. Come on now.
He called it.
She's got an edgy boyfriend that vapes. You think she skis? You fucking square.
Okay, Sasha. Well, good luck. I think we gave you good advice.
Yeah. Will you stay in touch and tell us how he reacts to this?
Yeah,
I'll curious.
Definitely let you know. I'm hoping for some positive steps forward. And
again, these are all great situations for you to learn how to get what you want and stick up for yourself and your autonomy, and not just let yourself be tolerant or get walked on or whatever.
Or get snowboarded over.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if he doesn't respect what you need, to put it into terms you can understand, shred him. Just shred him.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Sasha.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
I wish I was like a sporty, cool chick.
Yeah, so do I, honey. No, I'm joking. You seemed really sporting earlier on in this episode, so I got no complaints about you right now, honey. Listen, if you'd like to leave us a secret or would like to be on our podcast, it's pretty simple. We've got a simple process. If you want to be on the podcast, you just email us, endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com.
Or give us a call at 213-222-8608. Moshe, I know that number and not your phone number.
That is very depressing. That's our secrets hotline. We're on Endless Honeymoon, apple.co/Endless Honeymoon, or anywhere you get your podcasts. YouTube, we're on there too. Be on our Patreon. Our Patreon is the community that is formed around this podcast, and we have a lot of very exciting things coming your way.
Have we talked about our Patreon enough? Because I feel like you're in there working overtime on those DJ mixes.
I'm trying to get it to a good place so that I can release a quality product, so that I'm not just like releasing it to release it. And Natasha, I don't know that the declaration that you made at the beginning of this podcast is going to stay true, but the fact that you would even consider it makes me love you.
I love you. I love you too.
No, I mean, I already loved you, and I also love you now. I just love you, I guess is what I'm saying. And that won't change.
Oh my God.
No matter what happens.
No, I need to think about it.
I feel like it's already on the record, but I do love you. I do.
I love you too.